This is the sound of climate change. Grinnell Glacier is part of Glacier National Park in Montana, an area sometimes called the crown of the continent. But the ice sheets for which the park was named are melting fast.
This whole basin was completely filled with ice. There was no water here in the 1930s.
Scientist Dan Faegre has been studying the process for decades.
So the first time I came up and looked at this glacier in 1992, the ice covered much more of these benches. And so every year that I've come up here, I've noticed that incrementally this glacier's retreated.
In 1910, there were over 150 glaciers in the park. Only 25 are left. Scientists say if the ice keeps melting at this rate, within 20 years, there won't be any glaciers in Glacier National Park. Changes in temperature will change vegetation, affecting wildlife, including mountain goats and grizzly bears. What's happening in Glacier is also happening in other jewels of the U.S. National Park System, like Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons. Drastically less snow, much hotter summers, and eventually wholesale changes in ecosystems. Wildlife tourism is vital to local economies. More barren parks may draw fewer camera-toting visitors.
Well, you got to do what's right, right? You got to do what's right.
Montana Governor Brian Schweitzer takes global warming seriously.
It won't be the end of the human species. It may be the end of a few species that are on the edge, but it will make cataclysmic changes in the way we live.
He says it could damage Montana's economy.
And about 2 million people visit Glacier National Park every year, and so it really is one of the backbones of Montana's economy. And so Glacier National Park without glaciers, imagine that.
The Native American Blackfeet tribe has lived in the shadow of these mountains for millennia. To 82-year-old Blackfeet Chief Earl Oldperson, this is holy ground.
The whole area, this whole mountain front is sacred because this is where we get our visions and a lot of dreams. People appear to a spiritual people. In many ways.
He says the elders warned him decades ago that the balance of nature was being disrupted.
They're saying there's too many things that's going up into the air, too many things going up into the sky. That's changing a lot of things, even our way of life.
Oldperson is one of the last living people who remembers the mountain song, sung by warriors who roamed in what is now Glacier Park long ago.
And so this is the song.
Once, many people knew this song, and there were many glaciers on the mountains. Now, there are only a few, and soon there may be none. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, in Glacier National Park, Montana.
The Earth has undergone dramatic change over its geologic history. As the Earth has cooled and warmed, ice fields have advanced and receded. During warming periods, ice melts and water expands, causing sea level rise. Scientists are studying how sea level rise may affect coastal wetlands. A key study site is the Mississippi River Delta, which is experiencing high rates of relative sea level rise due to rapid land subsidence. Subsidence is the process of sinking to a lower level. Sediment deposited by the river undergoes subsidence due to compaction and dewatering. As water and gases are squeezed out of spaces between soil particles, soft sediment compacts. As the sediment compacts, subsidence occurs and the land gradually sinks. Buildings and other structures also sink along with the soil surface. The other process contributing to land loss is sea level rise. As global temperatures rise and land-based ice melts, oceans expand. As ocean volume expands, sea level rises globally. This is known as eustatic sea level rise. Relative sea level rise is the combination of eustatic rise in sea level and land movement, and is unique for each location. The
Thank you.